We're done and dusted as far as the group stages of the Euros are concerned. To help us break down the group stage and what to expect looking forward, a special guest here on Sports Today with me, Bhaichung Bhutia, the former India captain, joins us. Sir, pleasure having you. Thanks for taking out time.
Thank you very much for having me.
As I said, let's just try and look back at some of those exciting games that we saw. What has been your biggest takeaway in the games that we've seen so far in the Euros?
I think this Euro has been fantastic because of number of goals, especially in the initial stages. We've seen plenty of goals coming in, and good thing was some of the unknown side, not such big footballing nations like Austria, Slovakia,
What
even
about
Georgia.
Georgia? Yeah, I was about
You
to
know,
say
I
that
think
you
this
had
team's
Georgia
doing
there.
so well with the big names of world football. I think it's been fantastic to see, and we started with a lot of goals, and then later on towards the final stages, a bit dull, a few matches with goalless draws. But overall, I think it's been great, just not on the pitch, but off the ground, on the stands. I think stadiums have been full, colorful, and it's been wonderful atmosphere to watch Euro 2024 so far.
You named plenty of sides there, and of course, we saw some exciting football from some of those that you didn't name as well. I want you to name the one team that has really impressed you in the games that we've seen so far, and you genuinely see them being title contenders.
In terms of title contenders, I think I still would go with the Germany and Spain. I think they've been the best teams so far. But again, if you look at teams that are not so big names in world football, like Austria topping the group, you've got Slovakia, Slovenia doing so well. These two countries. Then you've got Georgia, which just defeated Portugal and Cristiano Ronaldo's team in the last game to qualify. I think there have been a lot of smaller nations in terms of footballing, smaller nations doing so well in this Euro, and big names like England, France, Belgium are still struggling, though they are in the second round, but they have not played to their potentials. But overall, if you look so far, the favorites, the way they have played in the last three matches in the round robin leg, I think Germany, Spain looks the favorites to go and win it.
Okay, we've heard your favorite, but what's that one team that has disappointed? You had expectations, let's say, high from them, but they've not really, come up to those expectations, lived up to those expectations so far.
One and only team that is disappointed is England, because I think England, as I said, has got the best players in the world. They've got players in every position that would be one of the best, not one of the, in fact, the best in their position. And they've got huge quality, great quality at going up front in terms of attacking football. And they've shown that the players have shown that playing in their own clubs in Premier League or either in German league as well. But unfortunately, I think the biggest problem has been Gareth Southgate, who's not been able to get the right formation, right players on the field to start. He's been there with the England side for the last 5 years, and he's just not got the right combination. You've got some of the top players. I was just reading one. I think in social media, you've got highest scorer in Bundesliga, Harry Kane. You've got the best player in Spain, Bellingham, who was one of the best.
Real Madrid's highest scorer as well with about 24
And
odd
then you've
goals.
got English Premier League best player playing Foden there. And with this quality, he's not been able to attack and score goals. Itself shows that it's not the problem of the players, but it's the system and
So,
the approach, I think.
what if I was to put you on the line with Gareth Southgate, what's that one advice you'd like to give him?
Either change the formation, and if he still wants to stick with 4-2-3-1, then I think he needs to play Jude Bellingham there with Declan Rice, and bring in one more attacking player, Cole Palmer or Gordon on the left or right hand side. I think that is what it requires, and I think it will change. Unfortunately, England being such a big footballing country with Premier League, they don't even have a genuine left side back. I think Luke Shaw is
Luke
there.
Shaw,
And
but injuries, yeah.
I think he's got injury and he's not played the last three matches. But then you don't have any other player genuine left side. So if you don't have a left side player, then you can always go with three defenders, and you can always go with 3-4-3, which is, I think, would be great for England side, the kind of players they have. And that for the last 4 or 5 years, Gareth Southgate has not been able to get that right formation, right combination. It's very, very unfortunate.
Right, right, right. Moving forward, there's one team that you mentioned that looked very inspirational, and that was Georgia. And I totally agree with you. The last match came against Portugal, something that you mentioned as well. Talking about that match in particular, there's a lot of talk happening in that inspired performance that we saw from Georgia, that perhaps a Cristiano Ronaldo should not have started that match. Do you also agree to some of those experts who are suggesting that maybe starting Ronaldo for Portugal in every match isn't the right move going forward?
I think again, Georgia, you should have started because you've already top of the group and you've qualified. Despite losing as well, your position on the group does not change. So I think that was the right move for Cristiano to play against Georgia. But going forward, the coach and the management will have to take a call whether to start Cristiano Ronaldo in the remaining matches or either to substitute, because Cristiano Ronaldo at the age of 39 to be playing for Portugal and playing as a striker in that highest level of football is a big, big achievement. And he's one of the biggest role models for all the footballers around the world. His fitness, dedication, discipline, and still at the age of 39 playing up there, captaining Portugal is a big, big achievement. But the fact is, I think when you start getting older, you start losing your reflexes, you start losing your speed. That is natural, and we saw that with Cristiano Ronaldo this time in this Euro Cup. So for a striker, I think if you're a midfield, you can still play. You can, because that's more of, Messi would still be able to give those wonderful passes, create those chances. But for a striker like Cristiano, whose biggest strength throughout his career has been speed and reflexes, and when you lose that, I think it becomes a big, big problem because you're playing with some of the young defenders, quality defenders, experienced defenders, and quick and fast as good as him. So it becomes very, very difficult for Cristiano Ronaldo to get behind those defense, which he usually would have done it 10, 15 years ago. So going forward, I think the call to substitute Cristiano Ronaldo is going to be a big, big call to either start or not to start. And knockout stages are not going to be easy as well. So I don't mind Cristiano starting, but if the games and the matches gets difficult, and we saw that in the group matches, I think he's not been able to really go behind the defense as what he could do 10, 15 years ago. And that's very, very important because when you put those crosses, when you put those through balls, I think your run and your speed is very, very important. And that has been missing in Cristiano. But again, I think he's been a great, great footballer and big role model throughout this year. But this time, I think the management will have a bit tough decision when to substitute him, but they'll have to take those big calls against Cristiano Ronaldo.
Okay, a tough decision that Portugal will have to take in if they want to go ahead and repeat what they did in 2016.
And
I
even
think
just to interrupt, sorry, even if you look at the goal which he created for Bruno
Bruno
Fernandes,
Fernandes, yeah.
yeah, again, a confident Cristiano Ronaldo would have scored that goal. And you will
Could
see
you,
that
since you
through.
mentioned that goal, sir, since you mentioned that, could that be because of some of the criticism around the fact that he ends up being selfish?
No, I think first strikers are when you're 101 and nobody there, every striker would go for that. And if you look at that game, you were 2-0 up. You're not
Mhm.
1-1 or 1-0 up. You're 2-0 up and he's 101 with goalkeeper. I think a young Cristiano Ronaldo 10 years would have never passed. And that is
Mhm.
okay with it. You should, when you're 2-0 up, you can take a chance. If you miss as well, there's nothing wrong because, you are a striker and you're bound to score goals and you've got no goals at this tournament. And that
Mhm.
2-0, when he got that opportunity, I think he should have taken that and he could have scored and made it 3-0 on his own. But now people are talking about being unselfish, which is great.
Yeah.
But for a Cristiano Ronaldo 10 years back, you would have not passed it, you would have scored, which was the right move, right thing to do when you're 2-0 up, and could have
Yeah.
given him that confidence. But it shows that there's somewhere that lack of confidence is still there with him. That ball when he passed, which was a good assist and a great unselfish for him. But when you're 2-0 up and you're Cristiano Ronaldo, you don't pass the ball to your teammates at that moment.
Wow, wow. Just the one last question, sir, for you that I have. We're running out of time here. Sticking to the same match, Georgia versus Portugal. Was that a penalty there? The screen grab has been doing the rounds quite a bit. I want to hear it from you, where Cristiano Ronaldo's shirt is being pulled by the defender. Does that call for a penalty or not?
I think that would have been a very very soft penalty. Yes, there was a short shirt pull, but I think giving yellow card was very, very unfair to Cristiano Ronaldo. Referee, I think after that he did give yellow card because Cristiano went and I think spoke to the ref in whatever manner it was, but it was a bit unfair. But I think even Cristiano would not accept a penalty. That there was a short pull, but there was nowhere danger because Cristiano was facing his own goal post. He was not facing them, and the ball was still away out of control. It wasn't in his in his control, where the pass was coming was nowhere near to his control. So yeah, it's a very tough decision to give. But we've seen a harsher penalty than that given by VAR. But I think that would be very unfair to give penalty, and I don't think Cristiano would also have accepted to take a penalty.
Right. Thank you so much, sir, for speaking to us here on Sports Day. Always a pleasure having a chat with you, and we look forward to chatting up with you more as we move forward in the Euros. Thank you so much for taking our time. And for those of you who are watching this video, well, you know the one-stop destination to watch the Euros, and that's the Sony Sports Network, where you have voices of Bhaichung Bhutia and so many other experts as well of the highest order.